I'll admit it, we didn't expect much from Chile. Sure, there's the famous Easter Island and Patagonia way down south, but what about the north, where we're starting our adventure? Let's just say we were in for some big surprises. Think jaw-dropping landscapes, epic wildlife, vibrant cities, and some plot twists that we didn't see coming. In this video, join us as we dive into our first few days exploring Chile, navigating the highs and lows, all from the comfort and chaos of our very own camper van. So we just crossed the border into the north of Chile, from Peru into Chile, and the landscapes are just stunning.
First we're getting to the Atacama Desert, which is one of the most beautiful and most famous places here in Chile. It's incredible. Look at these crazy colors here in the landscape and the rock formations. It's like we're on Mars or something.
If you want to visit a place that feels truly out of this world, the Atacama Desert is the driest place on Earth, with some areas that have never even seen a single drop of rain. Clear skies make this one of the best spots on Earth to see the Milky Way at night, and during the day, the views are no less impressive. Whoa! What the actual heck is this landscape? I think this is called the Valle de la Luna, and it is kind of like we are suddenly on the moon. Red-colored rocks. Mountains over there in the background. So we're gonna go to a bunch of cool spots on this route, but first we're gonna go to San Pedro de Atacama, which I think is the only town, proper town, in the entire Atacama Desert. Try some of the local food. This is San Pedro de Atacama. We were just hoping this sleepy town would give us our first taste of Chile, but as we were driving, a local got out of the car in front of us, walked up to us, and he seemed pretty pissed.
¿Conoces el stop, pare?
Sí.
¿Sí? ¿Y por qué no paraste? ¿Por qué no stop ahí?
Tú vienes del parqueo.
Pero ahí hay stop. Entonces me puede accidentar a mí, te puede accidentar a ti.
No, estoy en el camino, tú vienes del parking.
Pero tú vienes de ahí del stop.
This is a weird first introduction to Chile. The guy came from a parking lot, then he starts complaining that I didn't stop for him. I don't know. He didn't seem very friendly. I hope this is not a sign for things to come here in Chile.
It seems like this is where everyone comes to get their stuff.
Alright, Kim got us some local food here. We're eating outside. Got these beautiful views here. We also didn't want to leave the van alone here too much because there have been some reported break-ins here in this town.
So I just asked what was best. This is a piece of steak with some potato and some fresh salad and a little bit of a spicier dressing, I think. And this is potato with mayo and a piece of chicken.
Right, let's try see if that steak's any good. Yeah, good. Steak with some potato. Not bad for in the desert.
Very everyday fare, I think it is.
Yeah.
Leaving this small town, going out into the desert, boys. Oh, those are llamas, alpacas, and goats. One happy family. So the plan for this afternoon is, first we're gonna drive way out into the desert to go to a lagoon that is supposed to have this beautiful setting, and then later we're gonna look for a spot to go stargazing.
We are now walking on the Atacama salt flats. All these rocks you can see in between. There's a bunch of salt there. But we're not here just for the salt.
So here we have the famous Atacama desert chicken. This is a herd of wild Atacama flamingos. I think they're actually called Andes flamingos because we're in the Andes mountain range. They just found this lagoon, which is one of the few bodies of water in this desert.
Look how close this guy is. He's just like 5-6 meters from me. Oh, found some shrimp to munch on.
It looks kind of funny because it looks like they're snorkeling.
Must burn their eyes, all the salt water though. Did you know that pink flamingos actually aren't pink by themselves? They're white, but they eat like these pink shrimps and then they turn pink.
I did not know that.
Now you know, learned something today.
Okay, so normally one of the first things we do whenever we get to a new country is we go and buy a local SIM card so that we can use navigation, get online, find reviews for restaurants without having to use roaming, because roaming can be super expensive, but this can also be a really big hassle. Now suddenly we have to start running around looking for a store that sells SIM cards. We got this little thing called an eSIM. An eSIM is a digital SIM card, not a physical one. We are using Airalo, an eSIM used by over 10 million travelers worldwide, and we partnered up with them for this video. If you use their eSIM, you'll have no more high roaming bills, no more running around for local SIM cards. They gave us a discount code for you guys, which gets you $3 off of your very first eSIM. It's really easy. You just download the app onto your phone, you choose an eSIM plan, they work in more than 200 countries and regions, and then you purchase the plan that you want. You activate it and voila, now you're online when you travel from the moment that you land. Install Airalo today to stay connected whenever you travel and get $3 off of your very first eSIM using our code NAI3 here on the screen and a QR code, presumably right next to my head, right here. It's insane that places like this exist and that we can just drive our house there and just have a cup of coffee. What an adventure.
All right, this is an important moment. We started off in Alaska, close to the Arctic Circle. We crossed the equator in Ecuador and now we are here, the Tropic Capricorn.
This is such a cool milestone. Kapow! So we just found a park up for the night, somewhere way off the road, literally in the middle of nowhere. It is stunning, beautiful here. I'm actually a little bit nervous because one of the things I most want to see in all of Chile is like the night sky, and I read that it's a really good time of year to see the Milky Way. So if you get lucky with the weather, like this time of year, April to September, is supposed to be a lot cooler, which reduces the humidity in the air and makes it a lot more clear, the sky. So I just would love to see the Milky Way, but maybe that is a quite tall ask. We'll see. I don't see anything. I'm vibing myself. Is the Milky Way. Oh wow. Oh my gosh.
So cool. Alright, let's get on the road, folks. It's time to explore more of Chile. New day, new adventure. We're now entering the Valle de la Luna, the Moon Valley, which is some of the most spectacular rock formations in all of the Atacama Desert, so really excited about this.
I kind of feel as though we're back in Utah. Like the red rock, that is what this reminds me of.
We're going to be exploring here what they call the Big Dune. I made something for you.
Oh, that's very high school-y, but very adorable. First impressions of Chile's nature? Whoa. That's the actual hack, Chile. This is really cool. And there's one other very unusual thing that we noticed during our first 24 hours in the country. It seems to me like people in Chile really love rules. Because normally in pretty much any other country, you can climb the sand dunes, you can just go up there. But here they're like, no, you can't go up the sand dunes, you can't go off the trail, you can't fly a drone, you can't drive too fast, you can't walk this, you can't do that. So it's like, I mean, it's their right to do it. But it's very different from, for example, Colombia, where we were a few months ago, where everyone is just like, don't get killed.
Yeah, they're very bureaucratic here. Like the tickets we wanted to buy yesterday from the Laguna, you need to buy them online, but it didn't work. And we went to the Laguna, but you couldn't buy the tickets there, so you had to make an account online, register with your passport, all your information. Then when you buy the tickets, you enter all the information again, and it takes a whole lot of time. Well, they just could sell you the ticket for like 10 bucks, because I mean, there were people there sitting at the ticket office. We're now on the Ruta 5. This highway is the longest highway in all of South America. It runs from somewhere up north all the way down to Santiago for few thousand kilometers. And this is the route we're following all the way to Santiago. We're gonna do a couple of cool stops along the way. Next one is coming up in about 2 hours of driving. But I must say, the roads here in Chile are, after like Central America and South America, it's been almost 2 years since I've driven 120 kilometers an hour, especially without fearing for my life.
We were looking forward to seeing some Chilean culture, but within a few hours of driving, we learned just how empty this part of Chile really is. For hundreds and hundreds of miles, we didn't see a single town, gas station, or even alpaca. Ruta 5 is so remote that each streetlight has its own solar panel because running electric power lines out here just isn't practical.
Oh my god, what's that? Is that on a truck? What?
I see some weird stuff in the desert here. But it's really weird. There's essentially almost no cities on this entire stretch. Like, we've been driving for hours. There is nothing here except for the occasional very big industrial plant.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, there's actually no cities, no people living here as such.
Lots of solar panels. Our goal is to drive to Santiago, the capital of Chile, at the end of Ruta 5, over 1,000 miles or 1,600 kilometers from our current position. 90% of Chile's people live in or around the capital.
Alright, quick little stop here. Look at this.
Just us, one other car, and the desert hand.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like in the middle of nowhere, driving for hours, and then suddenly you come across this.
Strike a pose! We're from Belgium, a small country that's only about 280 kilometers long and 145 kilometers wide. In miles, that's 175 by 90. Driving through Chile really put into perspective how vast and beautiful our planet truly is. And also how remote certain parts of it are. We're looking for a park up for the night, and we got the van stuck in some sand.
We're stuck pretty damn well.
Do I push?
We tried a couple of times. We managed to move like 3-4 meters, but the sand is a lot deeper than I thought here.
I think we're more stuck now than we were before. Doesn't seem like we can get out of here, and it's 10 p.m.
That's like the creepiest place I've ever seen. There's like kids' strollers all around and kids' toys, but looks abandoned or something. I don't know. Creeps me out.
Well, we're gonna have to sleep here, so... Alright, so the highway is about a mile that way, and there isn't a whole lot out here. In the daytime, it's a lot more obvious that this is quite deep sand, because this is the freaking beach. We're not gonna get out of here on our own. We're in way too deep. This does look really creepy, especially if you see this when it's dark outside.
Oh wow, look at this place though. Beautiful ocean, Pacific Ocean here, the desert, the rocks. Ooh, someone's coming with a shovel.
He told us his friend is probably gonna come and take us out of here. Pull us out of here? Dig us out? I don't know. Someone's coming.
¿Tiene todo para comer todo?
Sí, sí. ¿Puedes ver? No es muy limpio, pero... This kind of stuff used to get me really worked up when stuff would go wrong, or something would break in the car, or we would get it stuck somewhere.
¡Uy, qué precioso! Sí, mira, precioso.
Ducha aquí. Y el baño también. As if the universe owed me a smooth ride driving down the Pan American Highway, getting from Alaska to Argentina. But one thing I've been learning on this trip is that it's not really an adventure unless something goes wrong. ¿Es mejor con los piedras o sin los piedras?
Con piedra.
piedra mejor? Sí. Let's do this. Woo! Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Fue muy rápido. Salió al tiro. Oye, ¿por qué se metieron para acá? Okay.
Ya, que le vaya bien, ¿no?
Muchas gracias, señor.
Gracias. Buenos días.
Pásenla bonito para allá.
Hasta la próxima. Oh, that was really fast. Took all about 10 seconds for him to hook it up and pull us out. First encounter with a Chilean was not great, but now
We are.
But now we have met some really kind, exceptionally kind Chilean people.
We're assuming this is the average. Freedom! Woohoo!
Okay.
After about 8 more hours of driving, we were slowly getting back to civilization.
Finally, some signs of life here in Chile.
And in this town on Chile's Pacific coast, it's not just people who live here.
Look at this. There's a bunch of sea lions here too. For 7 sea lions. Well, some of them are really massive, and they're just like 3 feet away from me. They're looking at me, chilling. They come here because this is the fishing harbor, and the guys clean their fish here and then just throw away all the rest.
They're massive.
Yeah, I mean, they basically don't need to do anything to get fed. Just wait here, like. Crazy.
Look at him. He's doing a handstand. I think that's a nose stand because he doesn't have any hands.
Yeah, probably it's a stand.
The next morning, we woke up in Santiago, the capital of Chile. Santiago was founded by the Spanish conquistadors in 1541. It is one of the oldest cities in South America, and yet also one of the most modern cities we've been to in this part of the world. Santiago is located in a seismically very active region due to its position along the Pacific Ring of Fire. Over the centuries, this place has experienced numerous earthquakes. Maybe that's why the city now feels so modern. All right, good morning. We parked up last night at this cutesy little park here, and today we're going to explore the city center of Santiago. We're gonna go up the tallest tower, the tallest viewpoint I think in all of South America, which is right there. Wow, can you see that? Look at mountains over there and palm trees over here.
Ooh, how good does this look? Wow. We're having some mochaccino here, coffee with some chocolate in it. We are at Cacao Much chocolate place, and we've got the typical breakfast that they eat here in Chile, which are churros, these fried dough fritters with some chocolate. Oh, that's so good. I think I need to come and live here. Wow.
It's currently July for us, which in Europe, US, Canada, etc. means it's summer, but here in Chile, because we're so far south, we're in the southern hemisphere and it's actually winter.
What's that?
Really good is what that is.
What are the opinions about the Chilean breakfast?
15 out of 10. I mean,
I'm actually really surprised that Santiago is such a modern city. Of course, we're in the modern part of the city. There's also an older part. But almost like it looks really clean. The roads look really, really good.
it's very different from the other countries in South America that we've been to so far, like
Definitely.
Peru, Colombia, are a lot rougher around the edges, way less modern. Very surprising.
If you would have dropped me here and you said I was in a European city, maybe like Stockholm or something, or Berlin, I wouldn't be able to like immediately tell I wouldn't be like in a European city. Uh-oh. It's covered us.
That's the sound of the police.
I really love the shopping mall. So modern, so many floors, 5 different floors. It's crazy.
And in the supermarket now, It has been many months, maybe even a year since we were last in Europe that I saw a wine section that is this big. But of course, Chile has a lot of wine. A lot of wine.
I bought a nice bottle of wine to take home to our friends because tomorrow we are flying back to Belgium for a few weeks, gonna visit friends and family. We have friends who are getting married and my godchild is getting baptized, so I'm gonna take a little bit of wine from Chile. It's time to transform. Way better, no?
Now it is time to get high. High off the ground. The Gran Torre Santiago, part of the Costanera shopping center complex, is the tallest building in South America, standing at 300 meters or almost 1,000 feet tall. It offers a 360-degree view of the city from the observation deck. Wow. Look at this. Look at the view.
Wow, this is so cool. We are 300 meters high, the highest viewing platform all of South America. I really love this. This is amazing.
It's not often you get a city this big with like the snow-capped mountains in the background.
Great.
Incredible.
Can we live here? I can live here for a while, I think.
Imagine you could.
This is my kind of country. Look at this massive glass of wine. Since Chile is really famous for wine, we decided let's have some wine right here on top of this tower. Cheers. Red wine, Malbec. Good. That's some really good wine. Wow.
And I got something from the gift shop. You might know I collect a magnet from every country that we visit on this trip. I have about 12 on our fridge right now, and I needed one for Chile. This is actually the shape, this is the map of Chile, like on the magnet. Can you believe how long and narrow it is? No wonder it takes so much long to drive through. And the main attractions are also on this magnet. Here you can see this bit is mountains, Patagonia. You've got some penguins here for when we get to really like the south of Patagonia. So lots of stuff still coming up, but I'm already really happy that we made it this far along. Not just in Chile, but like on the Pan American Highway.